Hello, good evening. This is Kathy Schreckenthaler of Kathy's Creative Impressions. Whew, technology sometimes, I don't know. I cannot get I couldn't get my phone working and my internet wasn't working, so I restarted it and I am trying to see if I am even on the screen because I can't see what you see right now, so I'm trying to get it on my computer and it's not looking like it is going to do that. So I might just be hoping and praying that you can see me and turning you down so that you can see my desktop. We are going to be making 5 cards tonight. This is called the Summer Sampler Cards to Go class, and we are going to be using the new In Colors with the fun magnetic, whoa, almost landed in my lap, ink pads and the shimmer brushes and lots of fun things to start with. So if you are just tuning in, say hi, let me know that you're listening, and some of you I know are going to be watching the replay, so I hope that is working out well for you. And so I'm going to turn you down so I can see something and we will get started. We're going to start with the beautiful Bloom Boutique specialty paper that has gold highlights in it. And I'll show you a few things. So hang on for just a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay. I am hoping that if I turn you up. All right, so you may have been staring at the wall. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Okay, there we are. Here is our pretty paper. You can see I've cut into it. I have lots of different sizes here, and I would love to know if you can see that okay. Wow. I'm going to refresh and hope. I really would like to follow along on my computer so that I can see your comments. And I feel like, oh, hi Linda. So glad that you're watching and you could make it. I am so sorry for the delay. Yeah. Technology is just not cooperating with me tonight. Spent the afternoon with the kids and our granddaughter. They are getting ready to leave on a trip, and we are going to spend a couple weeks with Sammy with a little help from her auntie from Colombia. So we are getting last minute details and spending some time in the sun, and just got home and none of my technology was working. So we are going to start with a sweet little note card, perfect for summer thank yous. Looks like finally my computer's working. Hey Linda, let me turn there we go. Turn my volume off on my computer, and at least now I can see your comments. All right, so we're going to be starting with this little envelope that is part of the Stampin' Up note cards and envelopes. They come in packages like this, and sometimes I forget about them. And they are so perfect. You get 20 note cards, heavyweight cardstock, and 20 envelopes, and they are just perfect for thank yous. They're already cut and scored, so all you have to do is fold them up decorate them and pop them in the envelope and put them in the mail. So I thought we would start with playing with our in colors with this little kit. So we have, now because I asked and a number of people did not have the 5 new in colors, I decided to go ahead and color your die cuts. I'm going to show you how I did that in just a moment. I'm bringing in a few things here. This around a little bit. But I did go ahead and color them for you so that you could see some of those colors. So this year for our in colors, we have Golden Glow, Crisp Cantaloupe, Barely Blush, which is a really barely blush on your cheek. It is a very light pink. We've got Peaceful Pine, and then for our second card, we're going to be using the Hydrangea Hue. And so this is a really pretty shade of blue. Now, look at this. They're sticking together because these are our new style of ink pads. So they are now magnetic. This is the Close to My Heart design, and Stampin' Up! Purchased the rights to it when they merged with Close to My Heart, and I love so many things about these. So the ink pad is still hanging upside down when you close it because it's on the top. They are magnetic, so you can either open them like this and they stick together, and you can use, you can either squish the pad and get ink over there and then use your, like your paint, water painters to pick it up. You can use your blending brushes to pick it up, or you can use your blending brushes, all the different things that we have for inking. And you also can turn it over this way and just have it on the back, and they stick together. And so super convenient. And then since both sides are magnetic, they also all stack up together. And so they're not falling all over. You don't even need ink pad holders. You can just tuck them on your crafting area in a stack. So they are super convenient. I am absolutely loving them. So for the first card, I did take some scrap paper, and I used the blending brushes, and I did not use the Peaceful Pine. I used the Old Olive for the leaves and stems. So what I did is I just took my blending brush. I always start off of the paper, or you get a really big dark splotch, and just blended some ink. Now you can go as light or as deep as you want if you want darker leaves. See, I didn't go off of it very well. You can go over it a couple times and you can make it darker, okay? Then I used 3 different colors for the flower petals. I started with the lightest one. I'm going to close the one I'm not using. I started with the lightest one, which is the Barely Blush, and I colored some more of the scrap of paper, and then I went to the next color, kind of the next darker one, which is Crisp Cantaloupe. And this one you can see, I had some in the cover. I took the ink right off of there. And it's a little darker, so the pink one doesn't really show through. You can see this one's more orange. Cantaloupe, a good melon color. All right, and kind of got as much of it out as I could. Now I have lots of blending brushes, so I could use a new one, or could use that same one. And then I came in with the Golden Glow. And just took a little ink there. Oops. And also blended that. So I've kind of got an ombre of colors here now. And then I can just simply rinse these out. Most all of the color comes out. These are water-based colors. And then what I did is I came in, here are our dies that we're using tonight, and I came in with the leaf die, which cuts 6 at once, and then the smallest Scalloped Blooms die, and that was perfect. And then I used the rectangle scalloped die out of white paper. And so all the pieces in your kit are cut from those 3 dies. And then you have a little strip that I cut off of the green, and that we're going to cut in 3 pieces if it's not already cut. And then you've got 2 leaves for each flower. They were cut out of the blended. And then here you can see the pink, the cantaloupe, and the Golden Glow. Okay, and then when I was doing them for you guys, I did more of them at once. I just did bigger areas colored and kept cutting till I had all the little flowers I needed. And that's how I created your flowers out of 3 of the new in colors and Old Olive. All right, so here are our pieces, and now we're going to put them together. Now also in your kit you have some Old Olive linen thread, and that was from last fall. There was a suite that had Old Olive and early espresso linen in it, and I had a lot left over. I thought it went perfectly. You could also, if you didn't have that, just use white or vanilla or any other. You could take white and you could use the Stampin' Blends to color it any one of the colors that are in the card. But I did include Old Olive linen thread for you. Then you have 1 each of the Barely Blush, Golden Glow, and Crisp Cantaloupe. These are called the In Color dots, and they're going to be our little flower centers. They're so pretty. So I'll set that aside for now. We're going to start by burnishing our note card. Making that lay nice and flat while we work on the rest of it. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our twine and we are going to tie that towards the bottom of our, let's see, I have the measurements in your email with all of the specifications. This is about 3 1/4 by 4 3/4 because the note cards are 3 1/2 by 5. So it's a 1/4 inch smaller. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to tie my bow towards the left side because the sentiment is going to go on the right side of this twine. Okay, and then I'm going to adjust it a little bit. There, not too bad. I'll snip it off and even it up in a little bit. All right, then we are going to build our card with these 3 little background scalloped rectangles. I'm going to pop those up on dimensionals. We are going to stamp our little, this is actually the tiniest arch from the Everyday Arches dies. And in our last card of tonight, we're going to use some of the biggest of those arches dies. So this is a really wonderful set to have for general card making. It just adds so much interest with those cool arches, and some of them are scalloped. All right, then on each of these, we are going to build one of our flowers with stems and leaves. So I'm going to get my dimensionals out. Grab those. Grab your dimensionals if you have them on your workspace and you are crafting along. I have mini or mini dimensionals. Lots of mini dimensionals tonight. I'm going to grab a pack of my regular sized ones. Take a little sip of water. Oh my goodness, I was so worked up with the technology not working. I'm like, oh my gosh, people are waiting and things aren't working, but oh, just always the way it goes. So you probably were looking at my wall again. I so apologize about the beginning of the video. I have no idea. Patty's on. I'm so glad you made it too, Patty. Thanks for saying hello. All right, so maybe I will build these one at a time and then put the dimensionals on and add them to my card. Otherwise, I can see me having it fixed to my card and then somehow messing this up, and then I gotta rip it off. All right, I am looking for sorry about that. I got a fun package in the mail, and so sorry. All right, I was looking for these because the Stampin' Snips went away for a while, and so these are our new mini crafting scissors. I cannot tell the difference between this one and my snips I have had for 13 years, 14 years. They look pretty identical even though they're not by the same company. So here are my old ones I have in case I go to something where there's a lot of people. I have my initials and I have a little ribbon on it so I know it's mine. But I wanted to try the new ones. So I grabbed those, and then I'm just going to give you a quick sneak peek of this delightful. This is a sneak peek of the next fall catalog. It's a cute little scarecrow and hay bale, and I just loved this little font, and it comes with dies. So I grabbed that so I have something for fall to start playing with. And then they are coming out with a gingham paper that is in the new In Colors. And I thought, oh, gotta have that because, of course, gingham is just perennially such a winner, and then to be in the In Colors, perfect, right? So I'll have to start crafting and having some fun with that. And then I got this beautiful daisy embossing folder that was out of stock for quite a while. I waited and waited for it. My friend Chris Smith, when we got together, I used hers, and then I couldn't get a hold of it, and it is just so beautiful with these 3D daisies. And so now I can add daisies to my cards. So you'll probably be seeing that. I'm so glad that's back in stock. Okay, so I do get distracted. I'm so sorry. I'm going to just snip a little stem for this guy. And then I'm going to take my blushing. It's probably a good thing I got my mini dimensionals out here because these flowers are kind of mini. So I am going to pop up right in the middle of that flower. And I think if I put it where I want it, I can slip the stem behind it. So for that, since it's so tiny, I'm just going to snip a little bit of the edge of the dimensionals. I'm just going to take some narrow strips and put it on the back here. 1 and 2. And then I'm going to slip that behind the flower. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to maybe cut one of these other little guys in half and put half on each of the leaves. We are working in tiny town here tonight, guys. Sorry. But it's a note card, so it's small anyway, right? All right, cut that guy in half, but now they're both halves want to stick together. They are buddies. I didn't cut it all the way in half, apparently. All right, put one there. And one on this side. And then we're going to take the backing off. And we're just going to put them down there. Uh-oh, there it is. All right. Ta-da. All right, then this one is the Barely Blush. So we are going to take the Barely Blush gem and we're going to pop that in the middle of there. And then we're going to turn that over. Stick a couple of these in the corners. Okay. And then we've got our first of the trio. And I'm going to try to make it about the same on the top and the side. That looks about right. That leaves about the same amount in between each. And I'll probably do this one next so I can put the last one equally spaced. Okay, so we're going to do... We're going to do the Golden Glow one. Oh, I'm going to move these up a little bit if I can. I want my, start over on that one. I want my leaves up a little higher. I just took a peek at my sample that I made to start with and I noticed, ooh, these snips are sharp. Ooh, gotta be a little careful. They don't chop my finger. All right. Linda, hi. Linda Lace says hi to everyone. Oh, I am so glad you ladies made it and that you are checking in and saying hi when you get here. Sorry if I get distracted and I don't catch you right away, but I am trying to glance over to my screen every so often as I mess with these details. Okay, this was not supposed to take long, and now I'm moving my leaves, doggone. All right, so I did want them up a little higher, so I'm gonna, oops, this one's not sticky anymore. So I took the other one off. There it is. Thank goodness for this take your pick tool. So it lets me grab things a little more precisely than my fat, clumsy fingers. Sheesh. It was an absolutely gorgeous day here. Blue skies. I have, oh my gosh, I can't remember when I saw such blue skies. And kind of cool and breezy, so it didn't get super hot. How was your day, everybody? Did you guys have a good day? I hope. Oof. All right. Cleaning up a little bit here. Okay, so that one's coming. This one I'm going to build next. I'm going to cut off. I'm going to put my flower on first. I like that because then I can put that where I want. There we go. And then I can slip my stem in behind. So I may have given you more stem than you need, more than you'll use, but that's okay, right? As long as you have too much and not too little, hopefully. All right, a couple more little snips of dimensional. Oy, oy, oy. I may just put one on here. It's not going anywhere really, right? I mean, sometimes I watch videos and I see people putting like 20 dimensionals on a 2-inch square piece of paper, and I think, oh, why? Because it's gonna get, the leaves are gonna kind of hold it in place too. So we're gonna just get a little dimensional on the back of the leaves. I'm gonna put those kind of midway up. All right. Might be changing my mind and putting it's kind of wobbling around more than I'd like, so I think I'm gonna stick a little more adhesive under there. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's not gonna cooperate. Oi. Okay, come on, get in there. Okay, better. And one more leaf. You only have 6 leaves. I have extra leaves floating around now because I had extra ones on my desk and they got all mixed in. So you should just have 2 for each of your flowers. All right, and then we're gonna pop some on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are getting some major construction done. Kind of have drainage issues in the backyard. We have this giant boulder wall that is not very far from our house, right off of our deck. And it's just soggy down there all the time. So we are getting a new patio. And so they dropped off the backhoe today, and we're going to be, I think, starting construction tomorrow. So when our granddaughter's here, it'll be kind of fun that she will get to watch all the construction from inside, of course, because we don't want her getting in the way. They don't want us getting in their way. We got to stay out of the way, but pretty excited because we have been planning this and waiting since last summer. So very excited to have the project finally starting. Hopefully tomorrow, and hopefully we have been getting like a ½ inch of rain every other day. It has been, the last month has been pretty rainy. So we're hoping it slows down for a bit now since we want to have some construction going on. But the gardens absolutely have been loving it. No doubt about that. All right. Last one here. Hopefully that's about the right length. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 dimensionals on this one again. I can figure out which side is sticky. There. I haven't done this in a while, but what would really help with this, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I've seen people take a marker. I just have a black one here right now. It's a permanent marker. And just color so that they can see if the backings are off or not. I'm just going to take the backing off before I take this off of here this time. Have you guys, oh no, that's the one that's on. Okay, so let's see how this works. Oh, of course, that's the only piece I didn't get any marker on. It's the one I was going to demonstrate. Okay, no worries. Oops, a die just hit the floor. I better get that right away before it disappears forever. You guys ever do that? Like, you know that you did something and you don't pay attention to it right away and then it's never to be found again? I have done that. I have lost a few dies over the years. Okay, so we have all 3 in color dots. There it is. It was my large scallop, which we're going to use on the next card. Okay, so I need to get my leaves on. So I'm going to snip a couple more little pieces, and this is where I can show you that's the side that has the backing on. So now it's not quite as hard to tell that that's right side up because it's got a mark on it. See, they get turned around here. And then it's hard to tell. Backing came right off of that one before it even needed to. All right. Boop. Well, that seemed harder than I remember it being when I made this card, but we're almost done. Boink. Okay. Now these backings are coming right off. All right, and for the sentiment, I used banner sayings because they had a really nice thank you in there. So I don't know how many of you, I think I know Patty Hines has banner sayings if I remember correctly. Do any of the rest of you have that set? It reminds me of the itty bitty. We used to have several sets over the years that had lots of little sayings in it for every occasion. And so, let's see if I can find it. So this is the one we currently have that's great for lots of different occasions, banner sayings. And I could use I'm so grateful, or I can't thank you enough. I like that one because I just think that's a great thank you card. And inside I could put you're the sweetest, or thanks a million. So first we're going to take our cute 3 little flowers, and we're going to attach it to the front. Now, because I already have 1, 2 layers. Usually I would pop this up on dimensionals. I'm thinking about whether I want to do that or just, I do want to tape this. My linen thread didn't get as tight as I want it. So you know how I take care of that. I just hide it. Kind of pull it a little more taut there and hide it on the back. Okay, so I think I'm going to put this right on the card since it's already 2 layers popped up. And, you know, of course, these days you got to make sure everything fits through the mail slot. If you haven't gotten it from me, Country Hive makes these little tools that are great. They have a 6-inch slot, and then if it doesn't fit through here, if it doesn't fall right through, it is not going to go through the automated machines at the post office, and you're going to need to put extra like non-machine readable stamps on it. So I think 2 layers is where I'm going to stop. And we're going to put this right on there. Oops, careful of my scallop. And isn't that sweet? Now all we need is our sentiment. So I'm going to pull that in and get my Can't Thank You Enough out. There it is. And there it is. Okay, I have my clear block, and I'm going to bring in the crisp cantaloupe because that one is not too light, not too dark, and it's my center color. It's my center bloom, so that sounds like a good color to use for this. Now, Coral Calypso, if you don't have the new colors, could be a good option. You could also use Old Olive since that is the color of the twine. And let's see what other colors might be. I don't know, you could be creative. If you had Bubble Bath, that might play off of the Barely Blush, because that's a light pink. All right, once again, here is our new magnetic stamp pads, and no more struggling with opening it. They just, boom, come right. It's like a little alligator snapping its jaws. And then they just stack. They actually stack better if you put this upside down. And unless you've got a whole bunch of ink or water flowing through there, it's raised off of your work surface, so it won't get ink anywhere if you just have a little ink in that ink well. And they are linen pads. They are not firm foam. So we're back to linen. And Stampin' Up! Tells us that it holds more ink than the firm foam ones did. So they shouldn't need to be re-inked as often. And you can push as hard as you want. You don't get ink all around. You know, if you push too hard, it's really hard to push so hard that you get the halo around your sayings. So there's quite a few advantages of these new pads. And going back to, it's going to take me a little getting used to going back to the linen pad, but I am liking it so far. Pretty excited about it. So I'm just going to use my chamois to clean that off. This is actually only a piece of the simple chamois. I cut mine down, and then I can put them in little bags and have them at all my places for my in-person classes, so that each person can have their own to clean their stamps. All right, I'm going to put that right back in the envelope. also. I just like to do that so I don't have total chaos and lose things, especially with making 5 different cards. And then I just need my Stampin' Dimensionals again. We're going to pop up a couple on the back of this. Use some of the ones from the edge again, why not? And pop that on the front of our card. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about this sweet little thank you with 3 of our new in colors. Now my favorite in color of all is coming right up, so you just hold on if you didn't see that yet. All right, we're going to put it right about there, and now we can write our thank you message on the inside. Can stamp thanks a million, or you're so sweet if you want, but it isn't that just so sweet? Love it. And got to do a little ink blending. Now, I did want to show you another possibility. I don't know if you've worked with these yet, but also in the in colors are these new shimmer brushes. And they're like Wink of Stella, but with pigment in them. You know, they're the colors of the new in colors. So if I bring this back in, I could also, here, let's do the shimmer brush in the, so you squeeze them to get the ink down in them, in the chamber here, just like you do with the Wink of Stella and the water painters. Isn't that? And then what you're getting is not only the color, but you're getting a really pretty, I don't know if that's going to pick up. No, oh, we need to hold it closer to the camera. Can you see the shimmer? I'm hoping the light reflects off it at some point and you can see that. But anyway, if you let that dry, then you can use the same dye, and you could cut out your flowers. They could be sparkly shimmery. Isn't that fun? And they would be a little bit brighter because this does look darker than the ink blending. So that's another fun way to make those sweet little flowers, is you could make them in shimmer colors with our new sparkly in color shimmer pens, shimmer brushes. They're called shimmer brushes. And I am loving those. They come in the 5 in colors. So just another idea to share. All right, so here is one I made earlier, and I put this in a little different spot, and here's the one we just made now. And that's because I didn't put my leaves that far. I guess I could tuck it in here, but you know, every card can be a little bit different, right? Because that's what makes homemade cards special. All right, I am still gonna stick one more. I know I said this thing wasn't gonna go anywhere, but it's still wiggling around and driving me nuts. Sometimes I am pretty picky. All right. Now I feel really good about that card. So now I have 2 sweet little thank yous ready to send. And I am going to grab, so that is our in color thank you note card. Now we're going to do our in color cutest crew card. And this uses the Bloom Boutique designer series paper. And the thing I really loved about that is it uses all 5 in colors, and then it has gold highlights. And we're going to use probably the most popular bundle in recent Stampin' Up. It's called the Cutest Crew, and it has sold out at least 3 times so far. And it is currently back in stock. So if you like this card, it's something you might want to grab while it's in stock because it has been hugely popular. All right, I'm going to cut these out and make another card that I will probably post later. But for now, we're going to move on. And so your second envelope has a beautiful crisp cantaloupe card base. And then here's my favorite new in color. It has a pretty hydrangea hue blue. And you'll notice I cleverly cut our little cute little guys, our crew guys, out of that before adhering it down. And then we've got a very pretty piece of crisp cantaloupe from that Boutique Blooms designer series paper. And you'll notice on the side we're not using, unless you want to use this side, if you really love the Golden Glow color, you can see the gold. Look at that sparkly gold foil. So one side of the paper has gold foil and the other side just has some really pretty patterns with the in colors. Then you've got a white larger scallop, and then you've got a white one with pretty flowers in all the colors and some gold highlights. And then you've got a little littler scallop. I want the heavier one down here, that has the beautiful hydrangea hue, white and gold. And so those are our 3 scallops. And then you've got some beautiful in color butterflies and 3 of our little crew guys. So in the Cutest Crew, there are kitties, puppies, and birds. And so I gave you 1 of each, and then you're going to save your little gems for our final touch. All right, so let's get started by moving all these pieces out of the way. Don't lose your butterflies. We're going to start by putting our card mat on our card base. Oh, Linda says very pretty. I don't know if it's the shimmer pens or the pretty designer series paper, Linda. Which did you think was pretty? And Patty Hinsey and Linda Lace said, cute card. So I'm glad you liked the first little note card. This one is going to be cute too. All right. Then we can put, so these layers are 4 by 5 1/4 for the mat. And then this one is 3 3/4 by 5. So they're all 1/4 inch smaller, which leaves an 1/8 inch here, here, and here. And then we're gonna do the bigger scallop just right on the card front. See, here's another of the back side. It's also crisp cantaloupe, so, but I thought these little flowers were pretty. And then these kind of go all different directions, but depending on what flowers you got, you might want to put it one direction or another. And then this one we are going to stamp and pop up. And then this one we're going to tuck behind. So let's stamp. And in this, you choose a sentiment for whatever, you know, or whoever you have in mind. But here's the cutest crew. They are so adorable. And if you were in person, we would have been stamping this in black and coloring these adorable little guys in. And then there are dies that, all these dies here. Here they are. My whole bucket's gonna fall over. There are dies that cut all of the little guys out. And then there's these really adorable border dies. But since I can't send stamped images, I couldn't send you the birds or the puppies or the kitties, I sent you these guys, the ones that I could die cut and just pop in your envelope. But super, super cute bundle. You, if you are a pet lover, it's got really cute sayings. Have the best day. So glad we're friends. Just a little hello and happy birthday. So I am looking at that happy birthday and all these little things, and I might play with that a little bit. Because who doesn't need a birthday card, right? My most used type of card I send is definitely a birthday card. So we're going to do that. And then I like those little flowers. Okay, let's try this. I feel like I never get to use all of my stamp sets and dies as much as I'd like to. So this is just off the cuff. I am just giving this a try. Since I've never used a stamp before, I'm gonna kind of work it in a little bit and stamp it a couple times till it looks like I'm getting a good image. All right, like that. Let's ink it up again real well. And we're gonna go happy birthday here. And because I really only used 2 colors on this card, well, I guess the Peaceful Pine does come in here. I'm thinking that I'm going to use ooh, okay, this is something to be aware of, because these are magnetic. If you're losing something like a die, look what just happened there. That could have been missing for a while. Ooh, careful. Okay. I always lose the photopolymer stamps. They stick to the backs of like these envelopes and stuff, and then I'm looking at every single thing I used and trying to track down my missing items. So now I know that I gotta worry about magnetic items too. All right, not happy birthday. I want this other one now. All right, another way to kind of break in a new photopolymer stamp is I've seen people use an eraser, or that's a gum eraser that we use to get extra adhesive off. And so I rubbed that on it a little bit, and then I'm gonna clean it a little. Let's see how that inks up. Just little tricks I've learned over the years. Okay, so then we're gonna put those, oh, that is adorable. Cute little flowers there. Okay. Wonderful. Then we are gonna pop this up. I'm gonna close this. pop this up on dimensionals, which I put somewhere. Here they are. Okay. Oh, scissors does not work as well as this take your pick tool. All right, circles I usually put 3 on. I don't know what you guys do, but triangles seem to hold them down well enough. Okay, so we're gonna put this right about here. And then this one, I'm not popping up. Oh, there's a peek at the peaceful pine with some white and crisp cantaloupe. And this can go here. And then we're gonna take our cute little guys, our crew members. All right, I need to know, oh, Linda liked the shimmer pens. Those were the pretty things. All right, I need you to vote. Tell me, are you team dog, team cat, team bird, or pets? No, thank you. Pop it in the comments. I love to find out more about you guys. So I want to know, who's your cutest crew member? If you could only have one, which team would it be? Which crew member? All right, we're going to put the kitty here. The birdie down here. And the puppy over here. Oh, isn't that cute? All right, my kitty. Needs to, no. I didn't like how he was, or she was sitting. All right, I'm still waiting to see what your favorite animal in the cutest crew is. Well, maybe you're busy crafting and it's hard to type. Oh, Patty Heinz's team dog. We have a dog. Oh, and I can't forget. Our middle son was both of our boys were very allergic to cats. And we were never team cat, but we did have golden retrievers twice over the years. And now we have a little teddy bear, Shashan. Loki's 10, might be 11. All right, now I got to put my little, I think I did include also some of the in color butterflies. So there's in color dots and in color butterflies. So it's kind of fun that we have 2 choices. And I may have included more than one color for you, just so you could see the different colors. My kit has the hydrangea hue and the crisp cantaloupe. Let's try that. All right. Oh, isn't that sweet? Happy birthday. Now I have a really pretty summer birthday card. And we've got a little bit of the paper with the foil side. And we've got all 3 of our cute little animals. And we've got our in color. And I used a couple of the cutest crew stamps. And then you could put an insert in and add any of the stamps or strips of paper and write your message inside. What do you guys think? Card number 2. is two of my favorite in colors, Hydrangea Hue and the Crisp Cantaloupe. Love, love, loving these colors. What I like is they're all like super trendy for one thing, because I see, what is it, Branches and Bowl? I don't know if you guys have ever seen things from that company. They do a lot of bedding and home decor, and they actually have a color called Hydrangea Hue. So Stampin' Up! Is definitely right on trend, but they've been showing like this really light dove cloud color and Hydrangea Hue, and like the light pastels are really in right now. Just kind of ethereal cloud colors and soft, subtle colors. All right, again, here are the dots, and my butterflies are here somewhere. Yep. So the butterflies are smaller, but you get more of them. This one, there's 120, and the butterflies, there's 180. And you get white as well as the 5 in colors in the butterflies in 2 different sizes, the little guys and the bigger ones. And you get 2 sizes each of the 5 colors in the in color dots. So those are really fun. All right, and I like, I won't take time now, but I do like to use like the designer paper to cover the envelopes so that they're matching. I think that's a really nice touch. And here is a slightly different version of this card that I created. This one uses the product of the month for, was it May? That beautiful lacy looking, something blooms, eyelet blooms die, if you got that one. And that one's kind of tricky for punching out all the little intricate dots. So I found putting a piece of wax paper between the die and this paper works. And also if you put a unscented dryer sheet underneath this paper and then run it through your cut and emboss machine, all these little pieces will stick to that dryer sheet. It's very sticky, and then you can just peel this paper off. So there were a number of comments going around for tips for getting all these beautiful intricate little pieces out of that die. And I liked this version because it had a little more color. I brought the blue in, but this I made when I was playing around with the new in colors and I was focusing on Crisp Cantaloupe for that one. I did do this one you may have already seen in the Hydrangea Hue and Crumb Cake. This one is the blushing, the Barely Blush, and yeah, Barely Blush and black. And this is in the Golden Glow. And then I made this one in the Peaceful Pine. Super simple, kind of a nice masculine feel to it, even though it's got a eyelet bloom background. Just the simplicity and the colors, very neutral. Could be used for a nice masculine birthday card. And then here's one with those cute little guys. And I colored these with the watercolor pencils, but you could certainly do it with blender pens I've seen used. That was just a lot of fun. And I used the repeating stamp on the envelope, kind of tie it in. Have a good day. Wishing you a day of relaxation, happiness, and love. So, and these stamps on this one go with, these are from the Scalloped Blooms. and they are part of the Bloom Boutique double suite. One stamp set is the sayings and goes with the scallop dies, and the other stamp set is beautiful blooms and greenery. And so don't be surprised if you see a bunch more things from me with this pretty paper and those two stamp sets. But this time for you guys, I decided to bring the cutest crew in because it just has been so popular, and I had to have it, being a dog lover, and I am a kitty lover too, and my daughter has cats. She has two beautiful Siberians that are almost a year old now. So I wanted you guys to be able to play with that a little bit. And so I will put all of these cards away and bring in our third card. Lost the whole thing. All right, our third card uses the beautiful Waterside Retreat. Okay, card 3, Waterside Retreat rounded rectangle card. So this one was a fun layout that I wanted to play around with you. And kind of getting my in color stamp pads out of the way here now. Make a little room for our next card. Our pretty shimmer brushes can probably get popped in the bucket that we just scooped away. For your patience. I just felt like I had too much stuff here. All right, so we are using this suite is called Waterside Retreat, and it has a lot of fun. A lot of people have in Wisconsin and Minnesota have lake homes. And so these are from the Paper Pumpkin kit. I cut all the bases in half, the card bases, because who looks at the back of a card? I might as well use them for card fronts, right? And then there's 2 sheets in here that are all full of different size scenes, and I cut those all apart so I can be creative with those. There's a little ice cream shop that just reminds me of up north. When I was a kid, there's a little cabin by the lake. This would be perfect for journaling, making some scrapbooking pages. Look at that. Oh, I just have such fond memories of having the rowboat or the canoe at the lake for summer vacation. So this suite just spoke to me, and I had to have it and play with it a little bit. And the old-fashioned bikes and the seagulls, oh, and the buoys, and on the back side there is just weathered wood, reminds me of Cape Cod or Door County. So many fun things in this set. And so I pulled out my Pebbles Enamel Shapes. They were from the River Otter set, and they were in the Paper Pumpkin called Lakeside Retreat. Let me know if you currently get Paper Pumpkin. There were some awesome stamps. This was the April, I believe, and I think I put them right here. Made some really fabulous cards. So we've got bicycles birthday. You're an inspiration, thanks Dad, with the pier. I did a happy birthday, older, wiser, better. Happy Father's Day, today is your day. You're an inspiration. One of the cards had these cool scenes, spotlight on nature, type circular die, and then these elements actually are in the papers. So a lot of the ideas from this kit come right out of the suite, and they went together so beautiful. Today is your day, relax. This one be great for retirement cards, and then they had some really pretty envelopes that I think also could be taken apart and used for designer series paper. But that was one of my favorite paper pumpkins ever. You may have seen, I just finally got my blog up and running, and I posted, this was my last blog post. This is a little fun fold with one of the scenes from the Waterside Retreat Suite, and the bicycle might look familiar. That's from the paper pumpkin, as is this little label and these little river rocks. So I really had fun blending the suite and the paper pumpkin. Now this had the bicycle, but I swapped it out for the Adirondack chair that's in the Relaxing Waterside bundle that goes with the paper, the suite. And you'll notice that I used sentiments from both the paper pumpkin and the Waterside Retreat for those cards that I just showed you. This one has cattails, this one has grasses, they both have seagulls. They just couldn't go together better. So much fun. So, yeah, I just wanted to share with you some of the things I've done with that. Now let's get busy making this one. Oh, Linda Laskets paper pumpkins. Great. So, yeah, Linda, let me know if you want, you know, screenshots of any of those cards I made or any other ideas or anything. So this one's going to be fun. You have lots of little pieces, and these were punched out with the rounded rectangle punch, and this is currently a bundle. I love punch bundles because they're very affordable, and it's called Exciting Times, and so I used it on this card. Here is this coordinating stamp set, and it has this stamp which punches out with this, and then that fits inside of this bigger stamp, and you could, I've seen people fussy cut this frame and then pop this up in the middle. And then you've got let's celebrate, you did it, happy birthday to you, thank you so much. So great all occasion stamp set for birthdays and thank yous and celebrating and graduations and stuff. But it also lent itself very nicely to this concept. I think my upline, Mary Fish, who, by the way, just hit $3 million in lifetime sales, and oh, we are celebrating with her and so proud of her. That is such an incredible milestone. She had posted this as a card template and with completely different stamps, but right away this popped into my head that I wanted to use that design for this card. So I got the card template idea from her, the card sketch, and then this paper is actually, you could use that one in here that looked like weathered barn board, but I actually pulled this out of a paper that is still currently available called Country Woods, and it has a lot of different wood tones, and I thought the one with the smoky slate or basic gray could use this side too. So you decide which side you want to use, but a lot of these papers, in the paper I think smoky slate is the grayish color that's in it. So I am going to put this right on the card front. Again, this is 4 by 5 1/4. So there's about 1/8 of an inch on all sides. And we're going to set that aside. We're also going to set aside the rounded oval that is pecan pie, and the one that is just light sky colored. We're going to use this for our sentiment. So we're going to stamp on this one. So make sure you find these two and set those aside. And then we're going to take all the other ones and design the card front. Okay, so what I want is to lay these all out, and they're face up when they come out of your envelope, kind of the way I pictured them, but there's two sides to all paper, so you can decide, you know, if you want to use the front or the back side. And what I want to do is find two of the bigger pieces that maybe will go what I pictured is this is going to be kind of here, and then we're going to stagger all these other different designs. So I'm trying to figure out how far down. And then you have some that are just smaller pieces. Okay, so we're going to actually end up gluing them down and then cutting them off. So the smaller pieces are going to go on the corners. If you have really narrow pieces, they're going to go on the edges too. Okay, so you just got to play around with them for a little bit. This one wouldn't be a good piece to use because the bicycle's not in the middle. That's why I did this. So that one's going to be this side. And so that one might be like there. And then this one might be here. And then this one might be here. And if you have repeating patterns, you want to spread them out a little bit. So play around with it a little bit until you like what you get. All right, so, and then you want to stagger them just like bricklayers do. So I started with these two, and then I want to make sure like above and below that, they're offset. And maybe not exactly offset, so you know what I mean. These two pieces don't have to be perfectly lined up. One might be here. One might be more over the other way. All right. And some of these you'll end up cutting, you know, you can cut in half, and you can use half here and half down here. Oh, I didn't use this one yet. And you should have more than you have room for. I wanted to give you options and make sure you had enough. And just make sure you still have that light sky one and the pecan pie one. All right, so once you kind of think you like how they look, then see what it would look like with this over some of the ones near the bottom. Swap them out if you don't like how patterns look next to each other, or and then once you're pretty sure you like them, I would probably use the liquid glue on these. And okay, for team members recently got a little gift from me. Something that my friend Chris Smith introduced me to, and it fits in the retired Stamparatus. It's the same size as our Stamparatus, but it is sticky on both sides. So if I take this off and stick this to my glass mat, I can line it up on my glass mat straight, and then I can take this and line it up straight. Oh, right after I peel the top layer off, because this also is sticky. What I was looking for was something to stick this down on so that it wasn't moving. This is also great for ink blending. Oh, look what turned up when I turned them over. It's kind of cool. All right, so let's start all over again. Okay, I'm just gonna try to only put glue, like this is gonna be hanging off the edge, so I don't want glue all the way over here. Okay, let's see, I'll do this. I'll put the waves next to the bicycle. Oop. Then you turn it over to the other side and you're like, wait, but I don't want to miss that, but I do have fish on another one. Okay, and what I'm trying to do with this is get these on straight, if you know what I mean. All right, so I'm going to put glue on the bottom of this. Offset it a little bit. I'll put the little fishies up here. And I'm trying to get about the same amount of spacing between all the pieces. I mean, it doesn't have to be like perfect, but the best I can. I think I dumped them all over. Maybe I'll do this one up here. I had them all set where I wanted them. Gosh, I really like that one. The Old Man in the Sea reminds me of. All right, I'm gonna bury it though. Just can't use them all. Okay, then, all right, this could be, you could be loving this or it could be driving you nuts. I'm not sure which it's gonna be. I'm gonna snip a little bit of this one off, put over here. Okay. And then maybe I'll use this one here, hey? Okay. I like the fish. See what I'm doing here? Hopefully yours is going okay. Although I have the fish and I don't have any of these guys. Maybe I'll do the life jackets. All right. And gotta have some of these guys. All right. Nope, that one's right there, so I don't want that there again. Okay. What I like about this liquid glue is it gives me a minute to move it around if I need to. Okay, and then just a little bit here, and the fish are way up there, so I'll use fish again way down here. Okay, so I do have several pieces left over. I have a whole piece with fish I didn't use, and some other little guys, but no worries. Tried to give you guys extra. Okay, Linda, I will do that. Linda Lace. I will send you pictures of, oops, did I never, guess I might not have glued that one down. Ah. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, now that I got all these on here, is I'm going to pick it up and turn it over. Perfect. And I'm going to cut off all of the extra. And then you can make another card with all the little pieces that are left over, right? All right. I just thought this was so fun. And I've seen it, you know, when we had our hexagon stamp, people were doing this for a while, and I just thought the, yeah, that the rounded rectangle one works real well too. Any kind of shape punch that you have, you can just do a repeating, you know, pattern with, and then just trim off the extras. So that's pretty cool. And now I'm gonna peel this off my glass mat, and all my little scraps are sticking, which is awesome. I'll put the slidey part on the back of it again. And I'm just gonna put this over here for now, because then all of my scraps can just be thrown in my bin. Isn't that awesome? All right, I am definitely gonna pop this up, and then we're gonna stamp this and pop this up with our baker's twine, and then we're gonna put our little river rock on. All right, so let's get dimensionals on this. Thanks for hanging in here with me, ladies. I really appreciate you. If you've dropped in and haven't said hi, please say hi. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying some of our summery cards. What says summer more than waterside retreats? Now, last couple days have been cool, but boy, did we have some heat before that, and there was no better place to be than at a waterside retreat, for sure. All right, so let's see. What do I want to make this one? So there's a Happy Father's Day, and there is a Here's to a New Chapter, Relax. There's a dad one. There's Have a Great Birthday. I don't know if, Well, I made one birthday card tonight. I think I'm going to do the relax. Here's to a new chapter, because I happen to know 2 people that just retired. One is a fellow demonstrator. I'm not positive she did retire yet, but she has an upcoming retirement if she hasn't already. And the other one is a friend I've met through pickleball, and she was a teacher, and she just finished her last year of teaching. Once again, not sure I've used this stamp, so I'm just going over it with that gummy. Now, I sent this as a gift for those of you who have been doing my stamp classes regularly. You should have that somewhere from another class if you took that class. So just reminding you, that's a great thing when you're breaking in a new stamp set. It's a great way to do it so that you get a good stamped image. And I am going to pull in the pecan pie. Misty Moonlight would also work beautifully because that is one of the colors that's all throughout here. Cajun Craze is another one, and I'm using the pecan pie, and that's what I cut this out of. But I'm realizing now I probably should have made that out of Cajun Craze instead of pecan pie. Oh well. I just do make mistakes, ladies. I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to do the Have a Great Birthday. I'm going to pull in my little grass. I might stamp that off. Where is that strip of, find a strip of paper. Now I can die cut that out, but I wanted that kind of stamped off so it wasn't taking over the scene there. And there was a pretty seagull in there, wasn't there? Let me pull out my seagull. Okay, so we have the birthday stamp and the grass. So yeah, I just have loved this set. And actually, this is another one I want to make like a zillion more cards with, and I hope I get time. Oh, I lied to you. I said I was going to do relax and make this a oh, and make it a retirement card. Shooterooey. Okay, I took this out of the seagull sheet, so I'm just gonna punch out another one. I really did want this to be a retirement card, and I got yakety yakking, and now I'm ready for another card. I can put this to the side and use it later. Okay, I did want the relax though. Let's do that. All right, I have used the relax before, so that one I'm not too worried about. Stamping well. There we go. And then I'm gonna do the grass again. There is also a really cute, there's a coffee cup in here, and there is a book. So with that Adirondack chair, oh my gosh. You got to have the Adirondack chair with the book over the arm and the coffee on the other arm, or tea. And yeah, just make a seaside background or lakeside background, and what would look more relaxing than that? Awesome. Okay. Stamp off again. We're going to stamp it over here this time just to mix things up. And then we're going to pull in the seagull and see if I have my Misty Moonlight in here or not. Now, this might be crazy, but I want to know if this would work. Can I use the shimmer pen? It looks a little watery. I'm not sure this is going to stamp well. Ooh. Oh, that is actually gorgeous. And then it's shimmery, and I got a little on my knuckle. I'm going to do that. I'm just like winging it here, girls. I've never tried this or even thought of it before, but I'm using the shimmer brush right on the stamp, and then yeah, so with photopolymer that doesn't work as well as it used to work on the red rubber stamps, but that worked pretty good. What do you think? And now it's, I mean, I'm sure you can't see that in the camera, but it is a little shimmery. I love it. Woohoo! I'm like discovering things as I go here. Okay. I'm going to put these guys back where they came from so nothing gets lost. Sorry, I know that takes another minute when we're live, but I just have to be consistent about that so I don't end up in agony because I'm missing something. All right, I'm going to put this right on here. I'm not going to pop it up. I'm going to just do the shadow. Oops, I got to be careful. That shimmer paint might not be dry, but it doesn't really look like a lot came off. Okay, so I'm going to put this kind of, you know, I don't want to cover up that bicycle, but I don't want to put it like right over. I want to offset it. And before I do that, I'm going to get a glue dot. And I'm going to put, I gave you guys, let's see, about 10 inches of smoky slate twine. And we are going to pop this up. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals behind there. And oh, all right, that did not exactly work like I wanted it to, but I want this kind of to be peeking out of the corner like this. Yeah, just kind of like that. Okay, and then you should have 3 river rocks. Sorry, this is like a lot to look at. I'm sorry that my space is such a mess here. It's like reality though, right? Yeah, you're crafting with Kathy. You're not crafting with like Patty Bennett or one of the experts that have like super cool video setups and stuff. This is just real life chaos over here. All right, got some of the chaos out of the way. Sorry. I just get a little into it. All right, so we're gonna put maybe one here. I'm just gonna put a few little lake washed pebbles down in the corner here. Come on, I want a little space between you guys. There, how's that? What do you guys think? Okay. My bone folder and my scrap paper and stuff everywhere. Good thing you guys are sweet and forgiving and not too fussy. All right, so Patty Heinz, that sticky mat is from Ulta New, and I can send you the information on that. or you can join my team and then you'll get one as a gift. Being a demonstrator is an awesome thing because it just gives you a discount, and then you can just place your own orders. And we love new team members, so there's never a bad time to join Stampin' Up. And in July, they're going to have, starting in July, they're going to have an amazing new welcome package that new demonstrators get when they sign up. So I will be telling you more about that soon. All right, so here is the card I designed to get the idea of what to send you guys. And this one I did do Father's Day, and I only have a few fathers in my life, my husband and my oldest son. So I didn't really need another Father's Day card because I think I have another one or two already in that paper pumpkin bunch. So I wanted to do this one. I'm going to use that one for a retirement card. I guess I could have put these like down here too, but maybe I'll do that. Nope. All right. Sometimes you can't change your mind into the game, you know, too late into the game. But we're going to see if that glue's going to work. All right. Just looked at it and I just didn't exactly like how it looked, but I did like how it looked on this one. And here's the bird stamped versus shimmer penned, shimmer brush. Anyway, we have 2 more cards to make, so we're just going to keep cranking. Our next one uses another beautiful suite, and I actually have the bundle on the way to me. It's been shipped, but I haven't received it yet. But I did get the paper when the catalog launched because I thought it was so, so beautiful. And this paper especially reminded me of my mom. So it is called Valley in Bloom, and your kit has a Granny Apple Green card base. And I used the Paradise Garden Hybrid Embossing Folder. This was an online exclusive that is already on. Oh, here's the twine I used on several of the cards. The card we just got done making used the Smoky Slate. This one is going to use the black. This is the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. 155475. You can find that in the catalog, or just go to the online store and type in Baker's Twine Essentials, and that will pop up. Anyway, this beautiful paper, my mom's got a May birthday, and so Lily of the Valley is the flower for May. And we always had Lily of the Valley in our yard. I think my grandma had it too. And I took a class, an online virtual retreat called Connect and Create. Fabulous group of demonstrators, and I learned so much. And I have a whole bunch of cards to make from that retreat, but I'm waiting for the stamp set because I can't make the cards that used the pretty stamps and dies, but I have them ready to go. Look at this. Oh my gosh. You don't even need anything but maybe a little ribbon and a sentiment, right? Because the paper is so gorgeous. It's got pretty peacock and gorgeous grape and Granny Apple Green and Coastal Cabana. And so we used this pattern and this pattern we're using in our card tonight. And again, I'm gonna be making a lot of other cards with these beautiful products. I just love the colors, and I love the Lily of the Valley. They smell so good, and they were my mom's. They are, well, I don't know if she still really, really likes them, but she sure did when I was a kid growing up. Okay, so this one is quick and easy. We're going to burnish that card base. Then we are going to pop up the embossed card mat. Again, I thought this added some really pretty dimension to the background, and it's a beautiful embossing folder, and I believe it's on Last Chance. The papers were all such beautiful regal, some of my favorite colors like Berry Burst. We did some cards with them in one of my classes, so you can check out Kathy Schreckenthaler, Kathy's Creative Impressions on YouTube, and watch that video if you didn't attend that card class, and see the beautiful cards that we made. Or just put in the comments that you'd like me to share those, and I can I have photos of them. Okay, so we have 2 simple squares, and then we have a simple label, and we have some beautiful matching Coastal Cabana enamel dots, and we have some black ribbon. Okay, so we're going to build this. We're going to take our glue or our tape and put the Designer Series paper on each of the squares. All right, I will share that sticky mat info, ladies. I will put that in the comments. I'll have to look up my order and get you the stock number and all that good stuff. But oh, is that wonderful for ink blending, because your paper sticks to it. You don't need to use the masking tape or washi tape or magnets. Ugh, it's ingenious. Okay, I am going to put the 2 squares. No, I'm going to put the larger square. I'm going to glue it right to the embossed layer. I'm going to put this right on because it's already got the dimension from the embossing. Let's see. And then this one I popped up. It's smaller. I could have done 2.5 inch squares, but I don't know. I just thought it gave it varied interest, making them different sizes. So that's what I did. I don't know. It's just being creative. Just a little different. It makes it a little different layout than if they were the same size. A couple months ago, I did one that had 3 squares on it that were all the same size. Doink, doink, doink. So this is a little different. And then we are going to bring a sentiment in. Now, we used that Scalloped Blooms stamp set. We didn't use it. I showed it to you. Because on that card, we ended up using the Banner Sings for that little arch. So I loved this one. I think it goes really nicely with the Lily of the Valley. You're a blessing to me. You could do Have a Good Day. Of course, you can put anything that you have that's smallish that's going to fit on there, but I really liked the You're a Blessing to Me. Something you can send a loved one, a best friend, somebody who helped you in a tough situation. So many uses, right? Oops. Favorite Stampin' block that came from a kit years ago. It's probably the block I use more than any other. And I am using Coastal Cabana. That's the color of the smaller mat. But you could use Granny Apple Green or Garden Green, or even, you know, they bring the purple in, so Highland Heather or Fresh Freesia would be pretty. And I'm going to stamp You're a Blessing to Me. That turned out halfway decent. Woohoo! I'm always happy when I get it straight. And it all comes out evenly. Couldn't be happier. All right. Now here's another little tip and trick I like to give while we're doing these classes. When I first get my stamp set, I peel them all off and ink up the back, and then I take this whole sheet and lay it down carefully, and I take the biggest block, the really big one, the F, I think this is the F block, and I lay it over that plastic and smooth it so they all stamp, and then I took glue dots and I put the heavier one. So I think I switched how they come. I think the heavier one is on the other side, but I peeled them all off, and then I put the heavier one down with glue dots, and now I always know where they go. So they all fit on here, and I know if I'm missing any of them. Isn't that cool? Just a little tip. And now they stay in here, and I've got a copy of all of them. What do you think of that, ladies? Is that something you've ever done before? Thank you, Linda. I'm glad you like this one. All right. So now I am going to put mini glue dots along the bottom and glue along the part that's going to catch. Actually, I think I'm going to put the mini Stampin' Dimensionals, not glue dots, right on the card, and then boop. Then I can put my twine. All right, let's see if I remember how to do this. I'm going to do a two loop bow. So I'm going to go there, and then around again. And then I'm going to take this one, see if this works, and go around and then through. Nope, didn't quite get. It didn't go through. Come on. Get in there. There we go. Ta-da. All right, and then I can put that. Where'd my glue dots go? I put them away. Glue dot from my paper pumpkin, why not? And take your pick is right here. Okay, I'm gonna put that right next to one of those mini dimensionals. Put that right there. And then I'm going to put a little glue, make sure it's right side up on the top. Look at that. And then press it all down. You're a blessing to me. Now we do have some pretty sparkly gems, of course. You know me. I love the sparkles. I love to include some of the pretty things for you. We're going to put one up there, a smaller one under it, and one over here. And then I think we'll put the last two down here. So usually we have 3, but we did 5 this time. I thought it's a fairly plain card. If I had the bundle, I probably would have put some greenery sticking out or incorporated some of the lilies or something. But since I didn't have the bundle and I'm just using the paper, I brought in the Paradise Hybrid Embossing folder, Garden Paradise, and kept it kind of simple. And so I put more gems on it. What do you guys think? Pretty. All right. Thanks, Linda. I'm glad that the tips help. All right, and here's the one that I did before, and they turned out pretty similar. Okay, so that is our 4th card, and we have, these are the pretty little gems. They're called shimmering dots, and I think I have the number on your email where we printed out all the details and the measurements and the ingredients. Hope those help. Do you guys, do those ingredients, do those emails help? I'm sorry I didn't get it to you sooner. I try to get those there 2 days ahead of time. And I know I failed this time. I barely got them out after church today before we dashed off to the kids. But I hope you did get them in time and were able to gather a few things that you needed for this class. Okay. Last, but certainly not least, is a very fun, this is a very fun suite. It's actually a double suite, and it's really good for scrapbooking and card making. And this was, those of you who signed up, I had enough for everybody to get the floral flight accents, and so we're going to use a couple of them. Now, the one thing that's good to know about these is they are heavy laser cut paper. They're not real flimsy. They're substantial. But because of that, and because they're laser cut, these little pieces that come out when you punch them out, like this floral piece, this is super easy because there's no interior pieces. It makes a really pretty accent for the front of a card, especially with the bright pastel-y colors, but there's only like this little piece and this little piece to punch out. So that one's not that hard. This one was a little harder because it had a lot of pieces. And so, like the butterflies, for instance, you have to kind of sit and poke at them. And the brush attachment for the Take Your Pick tool does help. but I found just the pick, because this doesn't, you know, it kind of loosens them, but it, I mean, even if I attach it, it does help, but you still have to kind of pull them out because they are laser cut with a little bit still attached. Okay, so just a good thing to know. This is a good thing to sit and do while you're watching TV or something before you want to make cards, so you're not taking like hours getting all these, you know, do something else while you're punching out all the pieces is what I'm saying. But they're pretty much all unique. There's like 3 butterflies and a bunch of hearts. I guess a couple, I think, you know, there's a couple of them that repeat, but I couldn't do, you know, a class for 10 people with one set. So that's why I gave it as an extra gift that you got a whole set if you were one of the first people to sign up. So I'm going to set the Floral Flight accents aside. I'm going to dump these little pieces in the garbage and set those aside. I did use the Everyday Arches, the second and the third biggest arch for these, for this card. And here are the beautiful papers. Here's another one that I want to make. Just didn't get time to finish it, with some stamps up here and then just a little angle, just using that designer series paper, and some of the black accents would be pretty down here, and then just some simple stamps and a sentiment up here. So, and then I can use this piece on another card. So that's a to be continued. It comes with the Extraordinary Life, and all of these have die cuts that cut them out, plus extra. Look at this cool little notebook sheet. And you can, this is great for scrapbooking, where you can, you know, top 5 best parts of your trip or the school year or whatever. And then this one, oh, look at these, bordered in beauty. All these different borders, and I haven't even touched them yet. There's a file folder edge. Oh my goodness, like a tab. And they're so intricate. The butterflies, stamp, and then the edge punches out. I mean, I could spend a whole month just creating things with this awesome suite. But let me show you what I came up with. Just one card. So that's what we're going to do. And it comes with these matching array of dots that come in Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, Pool Party, and Pretty Peacock. Beautiful, beautiful colors. And your kit has, I'm using this and I think the largest butterfly. So you may have to punch those out. We can put the basics together and then, you know, I'll give you a few minutes, or you can finish punching those out a little bit later and finish your card. But let's give it a shot. Now I made the card base white because then I thought you don't have to do an insert. You can just do whatever you want inside. You might even want to put a black border inside and then a white mat. But as you know me by now, I gave you a little sneak peek. I used a black mat, but look, most of it's right here. So I did make good use of our cardstock, and I took the second largest arch out of here, and then that's, who's going to ever know, because it's going to be covered up by this beautiful designer series paper, and then it's going to be covered up by 3 more layers, so nobody will know that that little layer is missing. Okay, All right, and you have some twine. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I should have more than just these 2. Oh, there's 5 dots from the array of dots in different colors. So I think I kind of mixed it up. So everybody got different colors. All right, so we're gonna start by attaching the black one. This is gonna be the first layer on the card base. And this one, I think for most of you, this one is a portrait card. Instead, it opens bottom to top instead of side to side. I like to mix it up once in a while. And this one, because of the arches, because of the orientation, I just thought it looked like a card that should be vertical. All right. So I am looking, this is not centered perfectly. I am looking at the edges here to try to get it on here properly, not looking at that center that's cut out. And then just putting some glue on the designer series paper, and there's only like a 1/16 of an inch. This one is cut pretty close. So it's just a little bit of black that is peeking out. And then we are going to do, I'm going to set this aside and we're going to do some stamping and possibly ink blending. So I did do a little ink blending on mine. I forgot to tell you about that in the instructions, but I'm going to bring the crisp cantaloupe back in. And this is totally optional, so you can decide if it's something you want to do or not. I just thought because it's a pretty large area, and I'm going to be stamping on this, and there's going to be these silhouettes on it. I thought this kind of made it look like dusky or like a sunset. So I did add a little bit of the crisp cantaloupe, or you could use coral calypso, or you could use flirty flamingo. All of those would work. And then I'm going to bring in my black ink. I'm going to be using the new Basic Black Hybrid ink. This is replacing the Stays On and Memento Black. So Stampin' Up, when those run out, they're not going to restock the Memento Tuxedo Black or the Stays On ink, because this ink is supposed to be fine for both watercoloring and Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol based. So they now have a hybrid ink that is supposed to work on both. So I am going to bring in that Exciting Times, because I love this happy birthday on here. Happy birthday to you. I love the bold. I love the size of it. I love the cute little font under it. And like I said, can you ever have too many birthday cards? I don't know. I don't really think so. So I'm going to mount that up. Oops, 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 oops. And I'm going to put it right here. And then we're going to put on our other elements. And then we're going to mount it on the black and put it on our card front. All right, so here, this will work. I've got my block again. Now what? Oh, this would be a good time to bring that sticky mat in again. because then I could line this up straight and it would stay there. But anyway, I'm using my grid lines. I lined up the bottom of it. Now, one thing, because this is a hybrid ink that is going to be waterproof, is it does stain your stamps a little bit, more than the Memento did. And this might also be a good one to use. I did get the new Stampin' Positioner, and I'm gonna wipe it off and then clean it. Because I try not to get any more ink on my stamping scrubby than I have to, because then I don't have to wash it as much. And I do have 2 of the brand new ones. When I'm just at home crafting by myself, I just use this broken half of one. The other one ended up at my sister's and it never came home with me. It broke in 2 pieces and only came home with half. But it works just great for most of what I'm doing. So yeah, you can see it's a little stained, but you know, that's not gonna come off if I use a different color once it's been cleaned. And I'm gonna put this back on. But yeah, if I use the Stampin' Positioner, I could re-ink it and get that it looks a little bit lighter in the center. I could stamp that a couple times, but you know, it's good enough. Okay, now I can put this on here. So I'm going to bring my liquid glue back in case I don't get it down just right. I can move it around a little bit for a few seconds. I was the greatest at eyeballing stuff and lining it up the first shot. All right, and then I am going to bring in my fine tip glue pen. Just put a few dots on the back of this. Time to pour some more of my multi-purpose liquid glue into this baby. It seems like it's getting kind of empty. But I do like these little guys because sometimes you just don't want a lot of that liquid glue getting on everything. Okay, and then I think I'm going to kind of bend his wings a little bit and just attach this pretty butterfly in the middle. Give that a minute. And then I'm going to get my take your pick tool out for my pretty gems. And you know, one of them has to go on that pretty butterfly right there. And then, oh, I forgot something. I forgot this. All right. Probably should have moved that butterfly up, but now it's going to rip the paper. So I'm going to just tie the ribbon down here. Oh, how much ribbon did I give you? Enough to go around twice, I guess. I thought it was only going to go around once. Looks like enough for twice. And I want the bow to be right here on this stem of my little greenery. My silhouette of greenery, I should say. It's not green. It is black, like a silhouette at dusk. Okay, and then, oop, I gotta get that under my butterfly's wing. There we go. There. And then we're going to pop this up on the front and put our gems, the rest of our gems on. And that will do it. You guys, Ladies are wonderful. You really stuck in here with me for a while tonight on a beautiful summer night. I sure appreciate you being here. I can't thank you enough. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. You give me purpose because I just love creating. And you give me somebody to create for. I love doing this with you, and I really want to say thanks and how much I appreciate you. Okay, so now we need some of these other pretty little gems in here. How's that? All right, just kind of scattered around. Love it. Happy birthday to you. And then I'll spend a little time probably carrying over, probably put either a butterfly or another sprig in the inside, and another birthday, part of a birthday message. All right. Well, what did you think? Hopefully that gives you lots of ideas and a few pretty cards to start sending for your summer events, and a few tips. I hope I always help with a few card making tips, crafting tips. If you are not part of my newsletter, if you don't receive my newsletter, please message me that you would like to, and I can send you a link to get signed up on that, because I think you guys all are. But anybody who's watching that isn't, please just send me a message and I will send you a link to get on that, because all of my monthly classes are sent out via my newsletter, and tutorials and tips, and I'm excited to be posting some tutorials and details on my blog now. So my Facebook post should be shorter and details will be on my blog. So kind of growing here a little bit, trying some new things. All right, so this is the card we made, and this is the card I made that gave me this idea. And this one is kind of fun. When you open it up, it is a pop-up gift card holder. And it is made from one 5.5 by 12 inch piece of DSP, just scored and adhered in the middle and punched. And then I used the same elements. So I could carry these same two elements over to the inside of this card, because the yellow is definitely bright enough to write on. And I did use the butterfly border out of those borders. I just had to try something, and now I remember I punched that out and just popped it in the inside. So, and I didn't have the floral flight yet, I don't think. So I used a retired punch, the bow punch. And I did use the same sentiment and just some different colors. I used, instead of the peacock, I used the pool party. So this is for a class I'm going to be doing for a charity event for a friend. I donated a card making class, so I included a gift card and two really simple card designs to introduce for a girls' night out, introduce them to card making. So I altered it a little bit for this class because I wanted to keep these simple basic cards. Did not include fun folds this month because we did that all last month. So here we are with all of our cards for this month. And it sure was a lot of fun. And now I have lots of cards to send for thank yous, birthdays, Father's Day, friendship, and I feel like I am well on my way to being set for June. How about you guys? Linda, you're so very welcome. So thank you very much for crafting along with me, ladies. I'm gonna try to turn you up and see if you can see me so I can say goodbye. And then wait a second for my computer to catch up so I can see if you're looking at the wall or at me. Oh my gosh, I have a feeling you're looking at the wall. Come on, catch up. Yeah. Oh, it's me, but I'm upside down. All right, here we go. Whoa, are you dizzy yet? All right, well, thanks again for joining me and for putting up with my really lame video skills. But I hope you enjoyed getting to know some of the in colors. I especially am in love with this one because I think that cantaloupe and hydrangea hue are so pretty together. And this just brings back childhood memories, several of these things. Now, next month, I am going to be doing two other suites that I'm super excited about, and I just want to show you those quick. There is in color paper in all 5 colors too that are 12 by 12, so check that out. It's called 2026 to 2028 in color painted patterns DSP. So we are going to be making some things with the awesome homemade sweetness bundle. So we will be using the large jar die. We might be making a jar shaped card, or at least the card front will be a jar that opens, and you just gotta love. I cannot wait to go strawberry picking, and I plan to make jam this year with berries. So I've been saving this sweet, even though it's been in the online store for a while. It's still available. I just checked this week and it was all still available. So if you like to craft along with me and have the stamps, then grab these for July if you plan to craft with me. They come with these adorable strawberries and dots, and there is also a embossing folder that has strawberries and ladybugs on it, and then this really pretty checkered trim. So lots of things. Now, I've been getting the scrapbooking two-toned paper that coordinates with the sets, because then I have all of the colors. And look at these bright, they're so pretty. Strawberry Slush, Secret Sea, Misty Moonlight, Granny Apple Green, and I don't know if this is Darling Duckling or Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry. I knew it was kind of dark. Crushed Curry and Calypso Coral. And Strawberry Slush, yeah. So you need Strawberry Slush for a berry set, right? But this is great because then you've got the 2 shades, and it's a little thinner for some of the layers so your card doesn't get super thick. And then we're gonna be crafting with this silly old Bear Sweet. This is a double set, and we're gonna be using the Designer Series paper a lot because there's some beautiful, lots of pieces in here that cut out with the sweet words and labels dies. And so you have got beautiful labels, and then a lot of sayings that are quotes from the Winnie the Pooh, the books, and they're in the public domain now in the United States. So that's why Stampin' Up is not violating copyright when they have these beautiful pictures. This is not the Disney characters. This is the original characters And you know, I'm a librarian. I am really embarrassed that I'm talking away here and I cannot remember the author of Winnie the Pooh. But anyway, he has been gone for enough years that the copyright is in the public domain now. So we have got all the characters and the sweetest labels and sayings. And then there's even a 100-acre wood embossing folder. So this class, I always have so many things I want to share with you, but it'll have for sure those 2 suites. And then there is this gorgeous black and white paper that is great for coloring and ink blending. And so I probably will have to do a card with this, and we'll have to use our mats that we used tonight. For those of you who are interested and probably will be getting one, you'll have it by then. So yeah, that's probably gonna, I'm trying to think. Oh, and then I don't know how I'm going to squeeze it all in, because there's the Scenic Coast set with the lighthouses and the sailboats. So you should probably put in the comments what you are most excited about, because I'm going to have to spread these out between July and August. And then in September, you know, it's going to be the fall, and the Christmas catalog will be out. But here's one card I made with the Scenic Coast, and I just love all the little seashells and net and all that stuff. And then it's got these really cool lighthouse and boat and rocks and things. So, oh my gosh, how am we going to do it all, ladies? You're just going to have to tell me. But that gives you lots of things to think about for now, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.